Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube Astrology-The segment, I'm going to be talking about astrology in the fifth house, or you could say the fifth house in astrology. Now, as far as what it rules, well, the fifth house in astrology is associated with love, romance, children, fun, amusement, enjoyment, hobbies, creativity. It could be creative endeavors, your personal popularity, things connected with gambling, speculation, sports, games, entertainment. And as far as this love and romance goes, it could also be at times superficial loves at times as well. This could be also, I mean, the thing about this is, first of all, when you look at the fifth house in astrology, look at the sign that is on the cusp of the house. Now, that will show a lot of how the way it could be certain attitudes connected with that house, certain energy. It could be the manner in which you go about fifth house activities. Now, I have it in Leo. So, I mean, for me, I mean, that could manifest in a number of ways. It could be that maybe interested in sports, hobby. My hobbies might be sports related. Well, they were when I actually was able to play them. Now I'm more of a spectator as far as sports goes. Could also indicate extravagant gambling interests. I don't have that, but it does show where there could be a propensity for that if I was somebody that was a gambler. Now, it could also be I mean, Leo energy can be about pride. So another way it could manifest and pan out, it could be, way for me is that I might take a lot of pride in my enjoyment, my things that are enjoyable to me, matters with entertainment, and also in children as well, if I ever do have any. Now, and also, you're talking about Leo is also, I mean, I might entertain in a grand manner if I ever do that. And it could be too where there's, I mean, Leo energy, of course, is very extroverted. So it's something, whatever I do as far as anything amusing goes or fun, it could show that I might bring a lot of extroverted energy into it. And also too, it's an indicator. Leo on the cusp of the fifth house could, I mean, the sign that's on the cusp of the fifth house can reflect a person that you may become romantically involved in. Now, given in my case, it could be a Leo sun, moon, or ascendant person, or it may simply be something, somebody that embodies Leo characteristics. Now, the next thing you're going to look at, see if the house inhabits any planets in it, because of course that could flavor the energy of the house. Now, I have Pluto in Virgo in my fifth house, and it's intercepted. Now, the thing about that is that can manifest in a number of ways. The fact that Pluto is in my fifth house, I think, figures prominently in why I don't have any children, but it could also be an indicator of some kind of hobby that could be Pluto related, such as, like in my case, well, I mean, it's also what I do, but it's something. Astrology is very enjoyable to me. The fifth house is about our enjoyment. I have Pluto in it, so it shows that something connected with the occult, which can include astrology, can be very enjoyable for me. Being in Virgo, it could be also about being very meticulous with those details as well, and also too, I think it plays a role in the fact that I enjoy my football so much during the football season. The fact that I also have the South Node in Virgo in the fifth house. The South Node in our charts can reflect our our abilities, our attributes. It could be redundant energy, but it still could show certain abilities. And I think the fact that I have the South Node in Virgo in the fifth house shows my love for extrapolating data, sports related. During the football season, sometimes I like to project statistical data as well, and in terms as far as football players go in the games of the week ahead. So I think that's how that could manifest with me. Now, the thing also too is when we look at um, this as well, it's also important to see if there's any aspects that are made to the fifth house cusp, or if there's any or aspects to planets that are in the fifth house. Now my Pluto in my fifth house makes a trine to my Taurus ascendant. So one way that might work for me or pan out for me is that I have to do, like, for example, what I was talking about before, like with these having astrology is something that is very enjoyable to me. Or if I'm doing something else Pluto related that is enjoyed in that fifth house of enjoyment, such as if I was going to be doing anything like deep research or investigation, or something connected with transforming, anything Pluto related, that I would have that Taurus rising, that latent Taurus rising energy to be able to do it, so it works well with my ascendant energy. So the thing is too, it's also important to look at transits to the fifth house, because they could be of significance due to they can reflect spontaneous, often unanticipated events that might be associated with that house and that planet that is traversing it at that time. Uh, let's say, for example, somebody has transit Uranus in their fifth house. That could be, that can manifest in a number of ways. That could be somebody experiencing a lot of erratic and sporadic energy in their love life. It could be unusual, unorthodox behavior by children, or children even showing ingenious qualities. And the thing, it could, and like I said, there's so many ways that could actually that could pan out. But anyway, now it's also important to look at progressions that involve the fifth house as well, because they could signify important events. They can act like transits, but progressions, of course, on average will be longer, and they'll go on for a more protracted period, and they're more connected, I would say, more with planned, premeditated energy, in contrast to transits. Now, let's say somebody has they have Mercury in Pisces in the fifth house in their progressed chart. This is something where somebody may make some kind of decision to do. It could be something Pisces related that's fantasy connected. It could be designing some fantasy game, or something like a Dungeons and Dragons type of game, or somebody that becomes interested in creative writing. That's connected with things of a fantasy and fictional nature. Somebody that may, at the time as well, another example could be a person that might maybe write. Mercury's connected with communication and writing about hypothetical sports matchups, because Pisces can be connected with the imagination, and I would say what's hypothetical as well. The fifth house is associated with sports. Another example could be if somebody has let's say they have Leo on their progressed fifth house cusp. This could be somebody that might find entertaining something more in terms of as far as something amusing, or doing some kind of circus or juggling type of acts, playing golf. It could be sports in general, something that is getting this person some kind of attention. It could be playing games where they can kind of like showboat. It could be somebody becomes interested playing like Guitar Hero. Anything that could be Leo related, that could be something fun, amusing, and enjoyable to that person. not necessarily lion taming, but you understand what I'm getting at. So, or let's say in a progressed chart, you have Aquarius on the fifth house cusp in a progressed chart. Well, this could be somebody that finds some kind of interest in terms of hobbies, something with electronics, computers, radio controlled things, something, it could be something with innovation, astronomy, or even esoteric subjects like astrology. Hold on a moment, people. And let's take another example. Let's say whether this is natal or by progression or through a transit, that Neptune is making an adverse aspect to your fifth house cusp, that person might be more susceptible to fraudulent investments, because the fifth house can be associated with investments. It's things of a speculative nature. And of course, Neptune could be associated with deception and fraud, or it could be trying to decipher, difficulty in deciphering motives as far as in agendas, as far as lovers may go, and even matters with children or somebody that shares a hobby or creative endeavor with you. So those are some ways, those are some examples I'm giving as far as how this can manifest and pan out for people as far as fifth house related matters go. Anyway, people, that will conclude this YouTube astrological segment. Until next time, people, Edwin Learnard saying, stay well.